with the top story, the Biden administration on offense against a resilient pandemic, taking measures that Biden himself once hoped would not be necessary, pressing forward on these specific rules for that partial vaccine mandate for large companies in America they could hit by next week. Biden is waging a policy war that's actually unnecessary in many other countries because partisan attacks on science and vaccines are not as widespread in many other places. Just something we should keep in mind here in America. They are only growing more rabid, though, in our country, including on politicized turf like Governor Ron DeSantis' Florida, where the Trumpian governor has been attacking CDC rules, Dr. Fauci, and masks to protect children. Now, context always matters. You hear about this drama, but most people, even in that somewhat conservative state, still support CDC safety measures like masks. A vocal minority, though, is turning from virulent to violent. People making personal threats against school board officials who are just trying to keep the schools safe. One detailing everything from stalking to direct menacing threats of violence.
I don't reject them standing outside my home. I reject them following me around in a car, following my car around. I reject them saying that they're coming for me, that I need to beg for mercy. They're also going behind my home and brandishing their weapons to my neighbors, that they're making false DCF claims against me to my daughter, that I have to take a DCF investigator to her play date to go underneath her clothing and check for burn marks. That's what I'm against.
This is America right now. And let me tell you the exact legal facts. Under the law, people have every right to say and believe what they want and to protest about it. And that includes the right to be wrong. It includes the right to believe things that are not even true. People do not have a right under the law to menace, to stalk, or to attack others for their work or their beliefs or their rights. That's why the FBI has already confirmed it's on the case, mulling prosecutions for people who do cross legal lines in this clash around our nation's schools, which is partly a response to disturbing incidents like this around the country.
Klatt wrote about his family not feeling safe, including an incident where a car sat running in front of his house late at night.
Let us in! Let us in! Let us in!
Parents berated school board members in the name of their children.
This? Yep. This is it. No, sir. This is illegal.
They'll follow you. They'll take movies of you, like posting our addresses on social media.
London writes, I had a woman try to run me off the highway at 70+ miles per hour twice on Friday night. A person cursed at him and said, I hope someone abuses your kids and forces you to watch.
Free speech is protected. Attacking people is not. And these kind of attacks are not coming out of nowhere right now. There are people on TV falsely claiming that following the mask guidance for children is itself some kind of abuse, irresponsibly whipping up anger, ignorance, and fear. This pushback feeds on that virulent opposition that I mentioned. It's part of why the U.S. lags in its target for wider vaccination. That target, from everything we know around the globe, is attainable in this wealthy nation. And yet it is also, this situation is the sad and baroque backdrop to tonight's news from the Biden administration, which sees people convening on our public schools and trying to convert them into some kind of sick, politically theatrical battlefield for their cosplay and their COVID wars and their propaganda after losing their elections. And it's also part of why Joe Biden shifted from carrot to stick to the mandates. And we know from the data that other mandates have worked. Local city rules, workplace mandates, they've proven effective according to the data. And you have the increasing number of people who are vaccinated under the rules. And here's the other thing we know about this, because this is public health. This is what the government does. This is what journalists do. You look at the evidence. If something doesn't work at all, I would come on the news and say, they tried that mandate thing. It's not even working. But in fact, it has increased vaccinations. And we have seen that when people are vaccinated, well, their odds of getting COVID crashes to 1 in 5,000. And if you get the rare breakthrough case, the vaccine still works to ensure against a grave or deadly version of COVID. Studies also show, if you're interested in the facts tonight, when more people are vaccinated in a given area, which is why the epidemiologists talk about that target rate, it also makes that area safer for the people there who remain unvaccinated, like children. These are facts. Many people are being fed lies instead, including, I showed you Fox News. There's also a lot of stuff on Facebook. There are posts that falsely link the vaccine to random celebrities' deaths to try to scare people with propaganda out of getting vaccinated. That's why you can't get news, let alone medical advice, from random anonymous liars on Facebook, which is a point Dr. Fauci has made countless times as we go through this epidemic together. It's also echoed in a wise question from the poet Aubrey Graham. How could anybody tell you the truth when they misinformed? And to quote another one of his lines, I know the question rhetorical, because this is a rhetorical question. That guy there can't tell you the truth, because liars can never tell you the truth.